My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Geminis. I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing your general love reading, your 5-card spread. But before I do that, I want to offer these 24 red roses as a token of my love and appreciation for your love, support, and devotion for my channel, including me. And thank you so much for joining me today as well. So, this 5-card love reading includes where the first card represents you, the second the other person, the third the relationship, fourth the past, fifth the future. Then I'm going to draw a Vampire Oracle for you, and then a Favoli, and then a French Tarot card from the French Tarot deck. My goodness, sometimes I just can't talk. But the first one is for you. You get 9 of Pentacles, abundance. So, it's like, okay, let's look at the single ones for a moment, because what I'm mostly seeing here is that you pretty much probably have a lot. You probably have, your own career, your own home, your own vehicle. You pretty much have everything that gives you this abundant feeling. And this abundant feeling is mostly based off of that. You pretty much have everything taken care of, or you could even be a rich, successful individual in other ways. But the thing is what I just see you doing is maybe, you're in a singlehood position and you enjoy being single. Maybe you just think, I just don't need the drama or the excess problems, from other, people, because the thing is a lot of humans can also be very overly cautious in the sense where you just think, okay, it's like, I don't want to have to be sharing my wealth with other people, sad but true. And that's why, it's like, if you feel like you're this vampirist, and of course, gender doesn't mean anything in the sense, you could always be a man and still, get like a 9 of Pentacles from this card. The point is, it's like maybe you're just not quite there to want to embrace new love. Maybe you don't care about it. 100% your prerogative. No judgment ever coming from me at all. It's 100% your own life, your own choice, your own whatever it is. And it's not pretty much as, to say, yeah, you're a human. We're all, in this world, we all need to be exactly the same. No, we do not. I mean, I could never be human. I could never follow the whole course of life my own way. But anyway, but you could also be, single and wanting to actually, will find new love, and maybe that's what you're actually hoping to achieve, is to say, okay, I have all the necessary requirements. I have a job or career, I have a home, I've got a vehicle. Now the only missing puzzle piece is true love. So, well, let's see who the other person is or could be. Okay, you get Ace of Knives, also known as as an Ace of Swords. So what I'm actually seeing here, let's look at the single ones again. So, you're in a very fulfilled position, but I do see you eventually taking action. So at least that's a really good thing to do, is putting time and effort into this quest, voyage, what have you, in other ways. So this is pretty much, where you're actually trying to go through the, the jungle of, opportunities to try to say, okay, we're going to find, love. We're going to try to find, we're going to take action. We'll do whatever it takes and stuff like that, because that's what the time and effort is, just approaching and going about it. But the other person could also be maybe a fellow air sign, maybe an Aquarius, maybe another Gemini, or maybe a Libra as well. Or maybe this person is going to be approaching you. I mean, okay, the thing is I'm kind of getting that maybe if you want to be in a singlehood and you think, nope, I've got everything, I will love my own, wealth and security and stuff like that. This person wants to try to approach you, maybe, to say, I'll do whatever it takes to be with you. And maybe you're just thinking, well, I'm already happy, being in my current position. I don't really need to have it, but this person is pretty much going to be one of those passionate individuals that's going to probably say, I'm not going to take no for an answer. But of course, it all really depends on the situation, and do whatever feels right. If you really think, no, absolutely not, stay away from me. I can't deal with any person right now, whatever reason possible. That's what I would definitely do in a situation like that. But either way, it just shows that this person is just so devoted, but make sure that this person is not out for your wealth and finances as well, and loves you for who you are. Because relationships, my goodness, you get Lovers, one of your cards. Love this. So what I actually see here is, it's like you probably have, a lot of, you can pretty much be at a crossroads of having many suitors. Well, many, people that pretty much are interested in you, or maybe, you might just think, okay, you're the one that is in a position to actually call the shots, in the sense, where you can actually decide who you eventually want to be with, or even if you want to be in a relationship at all. So, but It's very beautiful because you could definitely be in a long-lasting committed relationship with whoever and whatever it may be. I'm just kidding, but whoever it may be, in the sense where you just think, okay, it's like I feel incredibly fulfilled. Well, this person, approached me, I fell in love, and now this is who we are, lovers. But it could also be how you are the one who's in control of everything. The other person is going to try to approach you, but you're the one that can still decide and call the shots whether you want to, embrace them or not. Let's look at the past. Five of Wands, and that's kind of what I was a little bit worried about. Because the thing is, maybe you had nothing but like negativities, in the past where you pretty much just had conflicts, or maybe there was competition involved and stuff like that, or maybe people are trying to compete for you as well. I mean, the thing is, it's like it's very nice to actually have that luxury, but of course, it is kind of also a bit of a silver lining luxury in the sense where you can have so many opportunities, options, suitors, crossroads, choices, and stuff like that. Seven of Cups moments in your life. But the point is, you want to make sure that it's not going to be, causing too many problems where, people, just get so, obsessed with you in the sense where they just think, I need to be with Gemini. There's just no way around this. I have to be with Gemini. I'll do whatever it takes. And that's kind of what this Ace of Swords is all about, is to say, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm putting time and effort into any kind of voyage, but this voyage is heading off towards Gemini. And maybe you've already dealt with enough of these types of people that pretty much just think, well, okay, I am just human right now, and, it's like, I want to also be able to have my own personal space, my own freedom and stuff like that. But it could have also been where you also had, problems with other people. Maybe you were, you struggled with exes and stuff like that. And maybe that's why you're in a very happy, fulfilled, single head of thinking, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that drama anymore. Because in the future, though, you do get the Nine of Swords, a potential nightmare. So this nightmare is pretty much just kind of, it could be, that you're worried about being single for the rest of your life. It could be that, you're worried about how, this person is going to be, bothering you nonstop. Or you're just worried about exes returning to you, whatever it may be. I mean, regarding some of these things, I would definitely take, like legal action, like the human familiar told me or advised me to present to you guys about that. In the sense where, it's like if somebody is just compromising your well-being, if somebody, is stalking you, harassing you, bothering you, doesn't want to give up because they just have this real drive within them, it's almost really, bordering on, inappropriate, actions and stuff like that, I would really definitely look into that. But other than that, what I even mentioned about, even in my general readings about future cards is, there's no guarantee for anything. Because just because the Nine of Swords shows up doesn't mean it's going to eventually become a nightmare. No, this is, something, that you could also be worried about in the future as well. Because Oracle wants to say anti-hero, maverick, risk taker, and rule breaker. So what this card is based off of is that you want to be your own true self. You don't want to feel like you have to be forced and pushed into the fray or into the group mentality, in the sense where you think, okay, I'm a man or I'm a woman, so that means I have to do according to what those standards are all about. I'm this much age or that kind of age and stuff like that. Oh no, I need to find love, I need to do this, I need to blah blah blah, I can't divorce, or I need to divorce, I need to do this, I need to do that. Why should you actually be following the whole herd mentality, in the sense where you just think, I need to be with somebody, otherwise I'm going to be alone? Because, the thing is there's no guarantee for anything. Sad but true. There's no guarantee, if everybody already knew about their book of life, that it was being presented to them, and then the moment they came into this world, okay, then you would already know if you're going to have a good or bad life, right? No, but you can always change it. But why should you just be following? And that's what people could see you as, is the anti-hero and the maverick, to think, well, this person is kind of going up against the standard of norms of things. It's like, this is, this could be a problem. Well, allow other people to have their own personal judgments about you, but always kind of stick to your own personal beliefs and values, in the sense where you pretty much think, this is what actually keeps me going in life. So if you want to be single, be single. If you want to find love, find love. Do whatever it is that you personally want, and not just think, oh, I need to join my friends and family. Otherwise, they might, will have such judgmental thoughts about me. Will allow them. Because Favole wants to say Six of Pentacles. So you might eventually find a give or takes kind of relationship eventually. So whatever it may be. I mean, the thing is, it's like if you want to find true love, it's like, of course, it's easier said than done. But it's actually far easier than having a breakup or divorce, because that requires a bit more of a tactical approach, in the sense, where you pretty much have to try to get out of it as smooth as possible. Otherwise, it could potentially lead to some kind of hazardous, outcome for that matter. But the thing is, it's like when you want to take action, because I even mentioned this to, I think, even Aries and Taurus for that matter, if you even want to check out their placements, or even if you have placements in those signs, the thing is, it's like it's easier to approach somebody and just realize, okay, you're in a vulnerable position, rather than thinking I need to try to get out of this situation. But I do see, some type of offering, or maybe you're going to be the one to offer and stuff like that. But either way, you're going to actually have, offerings, because, you are at a crossroads to decide who you want to be with. So, let's look at the French Tarot deck of the Tarot Interdit. Vampire, yeah. Le Soleil, the Sun. Ooh, okay, Leo energy. You might eventually be with a Leo, but, there's going to be strength and confidence within you, so do whatever it takes. Maybe you're the one that's going to eventually take action and head off towards this beautiful crossroads, but the sun is definitely going to be shining in your favor. There's going to be a sense of confidence, strength, but also a sense of clarity, because as long as, the light of the sun is out, that means that you have good visual of your whole surroundings and the situation like that as well. So either way, the sun will definitely be shining. But of course, the time frame doesn't work with my tarot cards. It'll happen or it might not. But either way, this is pretty much going to show up in your future sometime. Okay. My beautiful Geminis, I'm going to have to leave it at this for now, but if this reading resonated for Geminis, Gemini placements, please feel free to join and subscribe if this reading resonated for any one of you out there. I want to thank you so much for joining me, and next week I'm going back to Dracula, so then I'm going to go back a week later, towards, the general readings and stuff like that again, because we're heading off towards that spooky All Hallows Eve holiday, that a lot of people are probably preparing right now for. But other than that, I want to thank you again. I love you guys incredibly. Take good care of yourself. Do whatever it takes and stuff, and eventually something should work out in your favor.